Good morning, children. Hope all of you are safe at home. Let us start our class. So, in the last class, we studied matter in our surroundings. In that chapter, we just started the physical nature of matter and characteristics of particles of matter. In characteristics of particles of matter, three important points are there. One is particles of matter have space between them. Particles of matter are continuously moving. Particles of matter attract each other. We discussed that part very well, and we finished these questions also. And last class we studied states of matter also. We know that generally main three states are there. Okay, solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. And we studied the general properties of solid state, liquid state and gaseous state also. Okay, and today we are going to study about can matter change its state? Okay, so here matter, we know that matter is divided as solid, liquid and gas. So here when we are taking one example, water is in the liquid form, and how can we change water to solid form? So solid form of water is called ice. How can we change water to ice? We know that by the change of temperature. Okay, when we are cooling the temperature, by cooling we can change water to ice. And how can we convert this liquid to gas or gas, water vapor or steam? How can we convert water to water vapor? That is also by changing temperature, by increasing temperature. By increasing temperature or by heating, water change to water vapor. Okay, so this state of matter, it is this solid, liquid and gas by physical properties only, not in the chemical properties. We are classify this matter, solid, liquid, gas by the physical properties. How can we change the matter from one state to another state? Or when the changes occurs from one state to another state, what happens to the particles of matter during this change? And how does this change of state takes place? So many questions are there. So by increasing or decreasing temperature, we can change the state. So first point is by increasing, the change of temperature. Change of temperature, that means increasing or decreasing temperature. So by the change of temperature, we can change the states. Another point is, second point is change the pressure. Change the pressure also we can change the state. So I am repeating once again, we can change the state from one state to another state by change of temperature or by change of pressure. Okay, so by these two ways we can change the state from one state to another state. First we see the change of temperature. Change of temperature means increasing temperature or decreasing temperature. Okay, so here liquid is there, example water, and here solid, that is in the ice, and water vapor, that is in the gaseous form. So see the solid state, example ice. How can we change the state of solid to liquid? By increasing temperature. By increasing temperature we can change solid to liquid. That process is called melting. So melting of solid change to liquid. So another word of melting is called fusion. So I'm repeating once again, by the process of melting or fusion we can change solid state to liquid state. Next, again we are increasing temperature. So now it is in the liquid form. So the liquid form change to gaseous form while increasing temperature. So that process is called by boiling or vaporization. So by boiling or vaporization, liquid change to gas. Okay, so here solid change to liquid by melting or fusion, and liquid change to gas by the process of boiling or vaporization. Now we see decreasing temperature. So while decreasing temperature, the gaseous form, example water vapor or steam, this steam change to water or gaseous state change to liquid state by the process of condensation. So by the process of condensation, gas change to liquid. Again we decrease the temperature. What happened to there? So that time liquid change to solid. Again we are decreasing temperature, liquid change to solid by the process of freezing. Another word is solidification. Freezing or solidification, liquid change to solid, or here water change to ice. So once again I am telling these all processes. See, solid, that solid change to liquid by the process of melting or fusion. Liquid change to gas by the process of boiling or vaporization. And gas change to liquid by the process of condensation. So here decreasing temperature. And liquid change to solid by the process of freezing or solidification, that is also decreasing temperature. And this flow chart is very important, so write down this thing in your notebook. Next we will see what will happen to the particles of matter when we heat. So here you can see the solid state. Here the particles are very closely packed. You can see that the particles are very closely packed, but they are continuously moving. You know that particles are continuously moving, so they have kinetic energy. But in the case of solid, the particles are tightly closed, so they can't move freely. So their kinetic energy is less. So here kinetic energy is less. Okay, so when we heat it, when we heat the solid, it converted to liquid state. Okay, so when it converted to liquid state, you can see that the particles are move apart compared to the solid state, and they can move freely, and their kinetic energy is high here than this solid state. So in a solid state, the particles are closely packed, so their intermolecular force of attraction, the attraction between the particles are very high, because this is in solid state. So when we are giving heat to the solid state, this matter or this solid is used the heat to overcome the force of attraction between the particles. So when we give heat, so that heat energy uses the particle to overcome the force of attraction. So when it overcome that force of attraction at a particular temperature, it change to the liquid state. Okay, so a particular temperature, a fixed position, it's change, particles leave their fixed position and start moving more freely. So that is in the liquid state. So the temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid at the atmospheric pressure is called its melting point. So now we are learning a new word that is called melting point. So I am discussing once again this melting point. Melting point. The temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid. Solid melts to become a liquid at the atmospheric pressure. I'm repeating once again. Melting point is the temperature. Okay, so here you can see that solid changes to liquid. That temperature. The temperature at which a solid melts to become liquid at the atmospheric pressure. So here atmospheric pressure means it is the normal pressure, one unit. Okay, so that is the normal pressure. So normal pressure or atmospheric pressure, the temperature solid changes to liquid. That temperature is called the melting point. And melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius. Melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius. Or in the Kelvin scale, we can tell that it is 273 Kelvin. So two different units are there, Celsius scale and Kelvin scale. So melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Now we know that matter change its state by two ways: effect of temperature, effect of change of temperature, and effect of change of pressure. So now we are just to see one experiment that shows the effect of change of temperature. Now we'll see. So here in this experiment we need one beaker. So this is one beaker and we put some ice also. And this is one thermometer, and this thermometer suspended freely into the beaker, and the bulb of the thermometer, this is called the bulb of the thermometer. The bulb of the thermometer just touch to the ice. So these are the ice. So the bulb just touch to the ice. So this is our setup, and we heat also. Here we give heat or heating this beaker, and while heating this beaker the ice start to melt. Okay, the ice starts to melt. So that time you have to observe the reading of the thermometer. Okay, so throughout the experiment we observe the reading, thermometer reading. So the starting, that is the ice start to melt, that time also, and the full all ice melted, that time also we check the thermometer. So both time you can see that the reading is constant. It is not going up or not going down. It is in a constant temperature. So the question is, when a solid melts, so ice is a solid, so when a solid melts its temperature remains the same. So we are continuously giving the heat, but the level, the temperature reading is not increase or decrease, it is constant. So its temperature remains the same. So where does the heat energy go? That is the question. So we are continuously give the heat, but still the level of the temperature is still constant. So where does the heat energy go? So you must have observed during this experiment of melting that the temperature of the system does not change after the melting point is reached till all the ice melts. So all time you can see that the level is constant. This happens even though we continue heat the beaker, that is we continue to supply heat. So here we are continuing to give heat. The giving heat energy is used to overcome the force of attraction between the solid particle. Then only it can change to liquid state. Now it is in the solid state. The intermolecular force of attraction is very more. So that time when we are giving heat, that heat energy is used to release this intermolecular force of attraction and it's jump from solid state to liquid state. Okay, so that is why when we are continuously we give the heat energy, but this this temperature, the temperature in the thermometer reading shows constant. So here the heat energy we can consider as hidden energy. Hidden energy, because we cannot see that energy here. Solid state converted to liquid state here, but that temperature reading is not seen in the thermometer, that is constant, that level is constant. So it is considered as hidden energy and it is called latent heat. Latent heat. Latent means hidden. Latent heat means hidden energy. So now we will see the definition for latent heat of fusion. The amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of a solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point is known as the latent heat of fusion. And repeating once again the definition for latent heat of fusion, because here fusion when the ice changes to liquid, that is solid changes to liquid, that melting, or another word is fusion. So latent heat of fusion means the amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point is known as the latent heat of fusion. So now you see one important point here. So particles in water at 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin have more energy as compared to particles in ice at the same temperature. I will explain these sentences. That is, you know that melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Both are same. This is in degree Celsius, this is in Kelvin scale. So melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius. So this icy water having 0 degree Celsius. And the same time ice also having, solid ice also having 0 degree Celsius. You understood that point? Icy water that is in liquid form, that icy water have 0 degree Celsius. At the same time ice that is solid state, that is also have 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin. But when we are considering the energy, the icy water has more energy than solid state ice. Why? Because in liquid state the particles can move very freely than solid. So particles, their kinetic energy is more. That is why the particles of icy water have more energy than solid ice. Both have 0 degree Celsius. That point also there. Okay, I hope you understood this point. Latent heat of fusion means the amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point. So here we understood what is latent heat of fusion. Now you listen. In the same experiment, we put one spoon or a glass rod, anything here, and we stir the ice cubes. So when we are stirring the ice cube means its kinetic energy will increase, and we continue to give heat energy also. We continue to give heat energy and we stir the ice cubes also. So when we are doing these two process continuously, the ice, this water, now its ice, full ice melts to liquid, then this liquid changes to water vapor, that is the gaseous form. You understood, children? When we are continuously giving the heat and continuous stirring also, this liquid water changes to water vapor, that is in the gaseous form. So when this process is going on, we check the temperature in this thermometer. Okay, that is boiling of liquid to gas, boiling of liquid. That time we check the thermometer reading. So we can see that you know that boiling temperature is boiling or temperature of water. Boiling temperature of water is 100 degree Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius, or when we are saying in Kelvin scale, that is 373 Kelvin. Okay, so boiling water is 100 degrees Celsius. So when the liquid start to boil, we check the temperature. So that time we can see that that is 100 degrees Celsius. Again we heat it, again we stir it. So this two process continues. So that time the all liquid changes to water vapor. So still you can see that this temperature reading is 100 degrees Celsius. So where does the heat goes? We are continuously supply heat, but this temperature, this reading is not increased or decreased. This is at constant temperature, that is at 100 degree Celsius. So the question again, where does the heat energy goes? So here also one hidden heat energy is there from this liquid state to gaseous state. Hidden energy. That hidden energy is called latent heat of vaporization. So latent heat of fusion means that hidden energy from solid state to liquid state. Solid state to liquid state. But latent heat of vaporization means the hidden energy from liquid state to gaseous state. Got it? So the latent heat of vaporization. So that is the hidden energy. Okay. So first we see the boiling point. Melting point we already studied. That is the temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid, and the atmospheric pressure is called its melting point. So here we are learning the boiling point, the temperature at which a liquid start boiling at the atmospheric pressure is known as its boiling point. Okay, the temperature at which a liquid starts boiling at the atmospheric pressure is known as boiling point. So here the boiling point of water, we already said that 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin. So how we can define latent heat of vaporization? Latent heat of vaporization means the hidden energy from liquid state to gaseous state. So how we can define latent heat of vaporization? Now we will see the latent heat of vaporization. Definition for latent heat of vaporization. The amount of heat energy, that is required to change 1 kilogram of liquid into gas at atmospheric pressure at its boiling point. So when you are studying latent heat of fusion, we already studied latent heat of fusion, that means hidden energy from solid to liquid. So that time we learned the definition like that. Latent heat of fusion, the amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point. The same definition we changed like this for latent heat of vaporization, that is like this: the amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of liquid into gas. This is vaporization, so that is 1 kilogram of liquid into gas at atmospheric pressure at its boiling point. So that is called latent heat of vaporization. So this latent heat of fusion and latent heat of vaporization is very, very important, and the definition also you should be by heart. Check this line, children. See, water particles in steam, that is water vapor at 373 Kelvin, have more energy than water at the same temperature. Okay, listen. That is, if a boiling water having 100 degrees Celsius, you know that boiling water 100 degrees Celsius, and this boiling water converted into steam. So steam means that is in gaseous form. So when you check the temperature of that gaseous form, that time also its temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. You got the point? Boiling water as well as the steam both have 100 degrees Celsius, but the energy is more in water vapor. This is because particles in steam have absorbed extra energy in the form of latent heat of vaporization. So here that hidden energy is used to convert liquid state to gaseous form. So in that gaseous form, the solid particles have more energy because they have more space, or they have more free, and their kinetic energy is also very, very high. So that is why the steam have high energy than a boiling water. Both have same temperature 100 degrees Celsius, still steam have more energy and it can make severe burns than boiling water. Today we learned how matter changes state. So matter changes state by two ways. First one is effect of change of temperature and effect of change of pressure. So today we studied effect of change of temperature. See this, read your textbook also, this activity. And the important points we studied today is, first one is melting point. Melting point means the temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid at the atmospheric pressure is called its melting point. And we studied the other important thing is latent heat of fusion. Next we studied boiling point, definition for boiling point, and latent heat of vaporization also we studied. Okay, so read your textbook 2-3 times, and I will give some notes also, that also you will write in your notebook.